Harihi Om. 3 times Omkar. Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhanaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswati Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Satchidananda Rupaya Vishvotpatyadihetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Harihi Om. Suswagatam. We all are discussing a very nice and a subtle topic, that is meditation. And having completed our guided meditation course, we are now discussing about the questions of various seekers and trying to understand the answers of every question. Today's first question I'm taking, this question is asked by Ram Avatar ji. Hari Om Swamiji. I usually start from personalized deity to Advaitic non-dual meditation, that is Nirguna Nirakar. And he considers that is a real meditation. Now, his opinion is, when he is doing the meditation, he cannot achieve that complete cessation of all activities of the body, mind, and intellect. So, the question is asked, please guide. Good question. See, meditation, as we all must know, is a very subtle understanding, first and foremost. I cannot put it as its very subtle action, because we have already proved that it is not the action. So, and we have also discussed why it is not an action. Action gives 4 effects, which does not fall, the meditation does not fall in the category of this action. Okay. So, one must know, like yesterday also we have seen, why meditation we have explained. So, there are 2 important aspects. People, those who are doing meditation while following the path of pleasure, that is called as preyas. And people, those who are doing meditation while following the path of Shreyas, which is called as the path of good. So one is a Pravrutti Marga, another is Nivrutti Marga. Which is a Pravrutti Marga? Preyas is a Pravrutti Marga. Shreyas is a Nivrutti Marga. So please note here, in the path of Preyas, that is in the path of pleasure, you can understand a path of convenience, very practical. So what is the goal? From the action, majority of the time, these four important aspects are focused. What are they? Name, fame, power, position, or money. Name, fame, power, position, or money. Or you can take it at 5, money. So please understand, one whose focus is on these 4 or 5 aspects, that person cannot remain selfless totally. Now I used the word very correctly. That person does not able to keep his attitude totally selfless. Okay. So when there is a selfish action, there is an impurity in the mind. There will be an impurity in the mind. One must notice this, that if there is a selfish action by a seeker, then it brings an impurity to the mind. And now, very important aspect, impurity brings a disturbance. Impurity of the mind brings the disturbance. Okay, so in the path of prayers, continuous effort is to quieten the mind. Quieten the mind, because a person is keep doing action for this 4 or 5 different goals in life, and not only the supreme goal, and therefore there is a selfishness in some or other action, and that's why impurity keeps coming every day to the mind of a seeker. For that, now 3 important aspects of the sadhana one must understand. And this is also for a Shreyas Marga, that is called as Nivritti Marga also. First, action, if one must notice or one must understand, should be maximum time selfless. Okay. What is the effect? Purification of the mind. Purification of mind is the effect. Second, upasana. Upasana means japa, tapa, then different sort of vratam, etc. This brings one-pointedness to the mind. So action, that which is selfless, will bring the purity. Second, upasana will bring a one-pointed attention towards your deity or towards your Ishta Devata. And that gives a very concentrated approach towards the focus of our goal. Third is jnanam, knowledge. Knowledge makes the intellect understand about the reality. That is the knowledge. So knowledge gives clarity to the intellect about the reality. So these 3 aspects are extremely important for every one of us. Now, as a question says that yes, a person starts his meditation with a personal deity called as Ishta Devata and slowly moves towards the Nirguna Nirakara. Then, as I explained yesterday in some of the question, that see, this Nirguna Nirakara meditation is not possible because which, that's what I'm talking about, the last step, which is called as the dhyana avastha. Dhyana avastha is not possible because there is an identification with body, mind, and intellect. A strong identification. Therefore, a person must keep doing this meditation regularly with all the three aspects as we have just mentioned, that is called as by action purification. Which action? Complete attitude of selflessness. Then second, upasana. Upasana, japa, tapa, adi. That one must take it up. Then the third, continuously connect oneself to the shravanam. Then reflection, that is mananam, and then the nididhyasana. Then a person definitely will reach one day to the supreme goal. Now again, please understand, Bhagavan has already said in the 4th chapter, Kale Natmani Vindati. So this Kala, no one can understand and no one can predict. Kala means duration. So one must be very clear how much patience I should have. Ocean of patience. My job is to continuously, with faith, with nishtha, I must keep doing all these required aspects for the meditation, and then it will happen for you. I have used the word happen. That means it is the krupa which makes it happen. Okay. So this is how this question is answered. Next question comes from Purnima Rawat Amma. Question says, Prarabdha karma which we carry in our life after life, and that's why we are suffering. But in Mahabharata, Bhagavan and his very close suffered a lot in their lives. Why? So this question, okay, let me just tell you. See, prarabdha is for whom, and what is prarabdha? This should be clear. Now, though it is not connected to the meditation as such, but I'm going to answer because it is put up. First and foremost, the birth is for whom and avatar is for whom. This should be very much clear. Birth and avatar. Birth is for jiva. Birth is for a jiva. Jiva Atma. Who is Jiva Atma? That also we have discussed quite in detail. Conditioned self is a Jiva Atma. What is this conditioning? Conditioning of ignorance. When the self is conditioned by the ignorance, then that is a Jiva Atma. Okay. And this birth is for this Jiva Atma. Birth is for Jiva Atma. Now, for the sake of Lord or Ishwar, understand, there is no birth, as Bhagavan explained in the 4th chapter to Arjuna. It is avatar. When Bhagavan takes a birth, that is called as avatar. Now, what are the specific important things we must understand in avatar? When Bhagavan takes avatar, that means one Param Paramatma who takes a form, that is called as avatar. Param Paramatma who takes a form is called as avatar. In that avatar, first, taking the avatar, Bhagavan does not become Anishwaraha. This is the first important point. His Ishwaratva is maintained. Now here also let me be very clear and very specific, and everyone should understand this. What is called as Ishwaratva? Ishwaratva means this Lord is Almighty, Sarva Shaktiman. Okay. The Lord is omniscient, Sarvajna. And the Lord is omnipresent. That is called as Sarvatra. Present everywhere. Now be clear about it. That this Lord, the Param Paramatma who takes the avatar, he is always most powerful. Sarva Shaktiman. He is Sarvajna and he is Sarvatra. Okay, this is the, so therefore there is no Anishwaratva. Whereas when Jiva takes the birth, there is Anishwaratva. What? It is Alpa Shaktiman. Means it has a limited power. Then it has a limited knowledge. And it has limited presence. Okay. Yes. So this is the aspect, very important aspect about avatara and about a jivatva one must understand. Okay. So second important point in case of avatara, avatara is because of choice. And the birth of an individual is because of compulsion. Is because of compulsion. It is not because of the choice. Yes. Third, avatara of Bhagavan is not because of the karma bondage. That is called as the bondage which is created by action. But for the individual self, the birth is because of bondage which was created because of actions. Because of action. Bhagavan, when takes the avatar, is always free. In spite of doing any action. But this individual self, when this individual self is doing an action, that individual self is creating another karma which is called as the Kriyamana karma, Agami karma. And with that, it goes to Sanchita karma and then brings back the Prarabdha karma from the Sanchita karma. So, the body taken by an individual self is because of Prarabdha. And therefore, there is a suffering. Whereas in Bhagavan, it is, one must understand, there is no suffering, but it is an appearance of the suffering. You will understand or you will see that person is suffering. I'll give an example. Now, a person who is completely, totally free, I'm talking about a person which is called a Jivan Mukta. So, those who are ignorant will look at Jivan Mukta and If that Jivan Mukta is going or he is suffering because of some disease to the body, all other people around him, those who are ignorant, will understand this person is suffering. Whereas from the standpoint of a jnani, Jivan Mukta, there is no suffering at all, because he is disidentified with this BMI. So this suffering is only for one who is ignorant. Who is ignorant. So please remove this wrong notion that when Bhagavan takes the avatara, Bhagavan also suffers. No, Bhagavan never can suffer. We, from the standpoint of our ignorance, when look at Bhagavan and then, situation in the life of Bhagavan, then we understand, Bhagavan also has to suffer. Like people, ask many a times this question, when in Ramayana, the Ravana takes away the Sita ji, and then the prasanga, that's the situation comes where Ramji really suffers a lot because of the separation of the Sita ji. So there says, my God, Parabrahma Paramatma also suffers. So there is a prasanga that Shri Mahadev Bhagavan and Sati ji, that is Parvati ji, was going and taking a round. So Sri Parvati ji saw that how can that Parabrahma Paramatma suffers because of, yes, his wife is taken away by the Ravana, then how can that be a Paramatma? So Mahadev ji says, understand, it is not the suffering, but it appears to be a suffering because he has taken a human form. So please understand, from the standpoint of the ignorant people, it appears as a suffering. But from the standpoint of that knowledge or a Jivan Mukta, there cannot be a suffering. And similarly, there is no suffering when avatar takes any form, and does any action. There is no suffering at all. Okay. So the next question comes from Narayana Prasad. This question is, what is the difference between dhyana as seventh component of Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali Darshan and Nididhyasana as a part of Vedanta Sadhana? Okay. So first and foremost, we must understand this 7 components where Patanjali Maharaj is explaining Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. So Samadhi, that which is the final culmination of the sadhana in the path of Ashtanga Yoga. This is the first difference. Whereas in Vedanta Shastra, meditation is the culmination. Meditation is a pinnacle. Meditation is a supreme avastha. Now I have to say avastha because I have to convey it, that's all. But understand, meditation is not avastha. Why? Because as we have seen, definition of the meditation, effortless awareness of our true self. So when it is effortless awareness of our true self, it cannot be a avastha. So please understand, it is just to convey this, we use this word called as meditation as avastha. Okay. So this is the first difference. Then Patanjali Yoga Sutra starts with Atha yoga anushasanam. This is the first. That means now we tell about the instructions about the yoga. Then the next important sutra is yoga chitta vritti nirodha. What is yoga? Chitta nivritti yoga. So what is control of thought waves in the mind is yoga. Please understand this. Control of mind waves in mind waves is called as yoga. Chitta vritti nirodha. Then this was said in the Prathama Pada. Then in the third Pada, that is Vibhuti Pada of Patanjali, that is Ashtanga Yoga Marga, it is said, what is dharana? Desha bandha chittasya dharana. What does it mean? Concentration, that is dharana, is holding the mind within a center of spiritual consciousness in the body, or fixing it on some divine form, either within the body or outside the body. That is dharana. That is concentration on object of focus. Then the dhyanam. What is dhyanam? In Vibhuti Pada of Patanjali Sutra, Tatra Pratyeka Tanata Dhyanam. Pratyeka Eka Tanata. So, what it is? Meditation is unbroken flow of thought towards the object of concentration. Towards the object of concentration. Unbroken thought towards the object of concentration. So please understand now, here in the path of Ashtanga Yoga, there is an object of concentration and there is a thought flow towards it. But in case of Vedantic meditation, there is no such concentration on the object, because please understand now, if there is an object and there somebody is concentrating on the object, then there is a duality. Hope it is clear. Then there is a duality. Then one who is a meditator meditating upon something as an object of meditation. Here the meditator merges into, now again I have to use merges. The meditator merges into his own self. That means there was only a wrong notion that I am different than the Supreme Self. That was only a wrong notion. This wrong notion is dropped. How? By continuous practice of meditation. So practice of meditation, when someone is doing, that person is understanding that I have to go beyond body, mind and intellect, which is called as transcending the upadhi. The moment a seeker transcends the upadhi, that seeker becomes one with the self. So this is the difference between the dhyana, that is called as meditation in the path of Patanjali Yoga, as well as in the Vedanta. So there is a oneness, complete oneness, total oneness in the path of Vedanta. But in case of Patanjali Marga, Patanjali Yoga Sutra Marga, there is a duality which remains in this level of dhyanam. That is the 7th step of Ashtanga Yoga. Next question is by Ajit. When we are in that effortless awareness, we also aware that thought comes and goes. This may take some time to reduce, and the experience bestowed through the meditation practice was really helped to subside the thoughts to the great extent. I wish to hear from Swamiji about the meaning, that explanation of Paramahansa Gatim Turiyam. Okay, so one has to understand. Now, I would first explain this, or I would express that Ajit ji has beautifully put up here that this meditation sessions helped him to reduce his thought pattern. That is great, and hearty congratulations. Continue, and you will improve and grow in your practice as well as in the experience of the meditation. Parama Hansa Gatim Turiyam. Now, what is called as Turiya Avastha? So there are three important first steps. What are called as? First is called as the Jagrit Avastha, waking stage. Then there is called as dream state, called as Swapna Avastha. Then the third is called as deep sleep state. That is called as the Sushupti Avastha. Sushupti Avastha. So these, please understand, these three states are of mind. These three states are of mind. Mind wakes up. Mind is into the dream state, and the mind is in a deep sleep. Okay. These all are the stages of the mind. Okay. So this Turiya Avastha, when it is explained, it is that Avastha which is beyond these three. So that Avastha where there is no disturbance from waking world, dream world, or deep sleep world. No disturbance at all. Now this deep sleep, where there is no actual disturbance, but a flaw is there is no awareness of one's own true nature. Otherwise, it is not different than the meditation. The only difference is there is ignorance of one's own true nature in deep sleep. Okay. So what is actually Turiya Avastha? So please note this word. It is called as wakeful sleep. Good word. Wakeful sleep. Now, hope I don't have to explain this. If there is no disturbance in the sleep at all, but there is ignorance, but in this Turiya Avastha, it is a wakeful sleep where you are aware of everything, but you are not identified with anything. But you are not identified with anything. And that is a Parama Hansa Avastha. Gati. Gati means that is called as experience. Please understand this. Whenever in Sanskrit it is word used Gati, that appears to be going from one place to another place. But one has to understand it is called as realization of one's own true self. So, what is a Gati? Gati is from Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amrutam Gamaya. That is the Gati which we can understand as. Okay, the last question now. This is a question from Nikhil. And A bit different question, but I'll take it. How to focus after breakup? So this question comes from, no doubt, a youngster. In spite all the efforts, I am not getting over it at all. Also, can't focus on my life and career. Okay. Let us first understand, one by one, ask this question. Today's situation of this breakup, is it only in your life? So the answer is no. It is not only in my life, but it can happen to n number of people, and it happened and it will keep happening to n number of people. That means it is a common situation. Please note it, my dear. It is a common situation. It is not something which is happening specially to you. Okay. Second important point. What is called as disturbance? And why is a disturbance? One who has lack of knowledge has a lot of desires in his mind or her mind. And this person understands what is a joy. The fulfillment of desire is joy. And unfulfilled desire is called as sorrow. Okay. This is, one must understand. Therefore, one who knows this important principle, that joy and sorrow is just on the level of fulfillment of desire, and unfulfilled desire is called as sorrow, fulfilled desire is called as joy, so called as. Now, even if some desire is fulfilled, the joy remains just for some time, for a very small duration, a very short duration. And sorrow is also of the same nature. It remains only for short duration. Now, what happens here, when the mind continuously broods over the past experiences? Please note, when the mind broods over the past experiences, it brings back the same experiences and makes a mind a miserable entity. It itself becomes miserable by brooding over the past experiences. So, one must understand that if someone does not want me, why should I hold on to it? Very practical. If someone does not want you, so why should you insist someone to be with you? Yes or no? That person who doesn't want you, that means that person does not require you at all in his mind, in his life. So, let us be practical. That if someone does not want me, why should I think about it, or why should I fall for it? Grow above that and find someone who would like to be with you. That's the answer. And grow above your brooding nature of the mind, because that is a cause of misery. Okay. So I have done with all the questions. Let us, for 5 minutes, we'll do our practice of meditation. I have used the word practice of meditation. Before that, let me again just give you an information. 1st of March, we have a Mahashivratri program, a very auspicious day. Everyone should do a good sadhana that day. And in our ashram, Chinmay Lodi Road ashram, where we will be doing evening, a very elaborate puja, 6:30 to 8:30. You all are welcome for this Samashti puja. And let us now start from the next week, Thursday. Next week's Thursday, Amrita Bindu Upanishad. And it will be a great joy for all of us to listen to as well as to study Amrita Bindu Upanishad. Those who do not have a books can get it from our Chinmay Mission Vani stall, that is called as book stall. We have a book, or you can order online also from CCMT website. Okay, let us now start the first step. Quickly see to it that your position, the posture is correct, and you do not have any discomfort on the gross level, that is body level. Your back is straight, neck is straight, eyes are gently closed, pleasant facial expression. Focus on breathing for a very short time to attain one pointed concentration. Having gained a good concentration now, focus it on the mind. Look at the mind as a Sakshi witness. The mind will have different thoughts. Let us not identify with any thought. Just be a witness. Let us move to next step, to understand and to contemplate upon the real nature of the self. The real nature of the self is Satchitanand. That which is changeless, that which is eternal, that which is the substratum of all the universe, that which is consciousness, self-effulgent, complete awareness, that which is infinite, that I am. Aham Brahmasmi. This Brahmakara Vritti, one has to maintain as much as one can. Ooh. Bring your hands to the Namaskar position. Have gratitude towards the Lord and towards everyone around us. Pray for everyone. You can rub your hands together and create a nice warmth. Put your hands on both your eyes. Give a good massage to your eyes. Bring back in Namaskar position. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om. Thank you for being with us.